Your hometown station. Okay, you've just dropped the kids off at school, driving around, and you are going to want to stick with us because for the next 20, 25 minutes or so, we're going to find out about the elementary schools here in Santa Clarita. And my guest is a brand new superintendent of the Saugus Union School District, Dr. Colleen Hawkins. Hello. This is your first back to school month, right?
Yes, it is.
And you're just getting to know Santa Clarita. We're going to learn about you, get to know you a little bit, and talk about some of the great things happening throughout the district, not just at the Saugus district, but all of our elementary schools, and talk about some of the challenges out there and maybe get one or two secrets about what's in store over in the district. And if you are new to Santa Clarita like Dr. Hawkins is, just to set this up, there in Santa Clarita, we're lucky because there's one radio station, there's one newspaper, there's one city government, there's one chamber of commerce, there's one community school district with College of the Canyons, one junior high and high school district with the William S. Hart School District, and we just had a chance to chat with the Superintendent Vicki Enbrick just earlier this week.
Yes, she mentioned it.
But with the elementary schools, we have 4 and basically 5 school districts. So just to set this up, the oldest district is Sulphur Springs, with the Sulphur Springs Elementary School, over 100 years old, and that's over on the east side of the valley, the Canyon countryside. On the northwest side of the valley, we have the Castaic District, which is a little different because the district also has middle schools, 6th, 7th, 8th grade up at Castaic, and about to have the Castaic High School that will be part of the William S. Hart District opening up in a little less than a year. Up there is our 7th main high school. And then we have the Newhall School District right here in Old Town Newhall, and the district all throughout Santa Clarita, the west side also of Santa Clarita, the southwest side of Santa Clarita, and then the Saugus District, which I think has the most amount of elementary schools, right? How many do you have now?
We're close to 10,000 students, give or take on any given year, but we're very close to 10,000 students, and next closest would be Newhall at about 6,600 students.
10,000 students. And how many schools do you actually have?
We have 15 elementary schools.
15, and I said I wouldn't ask you history or questions, but what do you know what the oldest? I don't know which
the oldest is Santa Clarita Elementary School
Saugus,
of Saugus.
Yeah, is.
I want to say it was built in 1960.
And which one is it? It's
Santa Clarita Elementary School.
Santa Clarita Elementary School. Okay. Wow. So that goes back. And Andrew, who's in the studio with us, you went to which one? Cedar Creek.
Cedar Creek.
Yeah. And Dr. Lucid, who Dr. Hawkins just replaced, was your principal at that time. Okay. So we need to get some pictures of Dr. Lucid from back then. That would be
I'm
fun.
sure that would be great.
Yeah, that would be fun. So anyway, we're talking about the districts, and then not to leave out Aqua Dulce, which is up there on the fringe, northeast side of Santa Clarita. Aqua Dulce also has their own elementary school up there in their own district. So let's learn a little bit about you. Can I call you Dr. Colleen? Is that good? What is everyone calling you? I can call you anything I want, I guess.
Well, my doctorate is fairly new, so I don't really use it. It was really a personal thing that I did just for myself. I always loved education, so I had an opportunity to be part of the first cohort at USC, executive cohort, to get their doctorate in education, and took that opportunity. But most people in the district call me Colleen, so you can call me Colleen as well.
I will do that. So share a little bit of background. You just came from the Compton School District, right?
Correct.
And then give us a little background prior to that.
Okay, so I've been in education for about 26 years. I started as an elementary school teacher in the Fontana Unified School District, where I grew up and graduated from high school, and did my student teaching, and was hired straight out of the classroom to work there. Worked there for about 10 years and was a site administrator and a teacher on special assignment, where I specialized in math instruction. And then I decided I wanted to continue in my administrative career, and I loved curriculum and instruction, and I really loved working with teachers in professional development. So I had the opportunity to go to Corona Norco, where I was there for about 13 years as a director and a coordinator, and I worked with professional development, curriculum development, assessment writing, did some categorical work there. Loved working there, but then decided I wanted to be an assistant superintendent and play a bigger role. And you find as you move up, there's fewer positions. There's only one assistant superintendent of ed services in each school district. So had met a wonderful person who is currently my fiance, and he was living in the South Bay, so started to move my way closer to the South Bay. Went to West Covina as assistant superintendent of ed services. Then I got involved with, and there got to work in all areas for ed services. So I got to do a lot more work with special ed. I got to do a lot more work with enrollment, student services, mental health, those sorts of things, as well as the curriculum and instruction side of the house. And during my initial cohort at USC, I ran into a couple of people I knew from Fontana when I was back as a teacher. One happened to be the superintendent for Compton, and the other was the deputy superintendent of Compton, and we were in our USC cohort together. I was living in the South Bay at the time and driving to West Covina. That started out to take about an hour, took about 2 hours. And they said, "Why don't you come work with us?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't really want to switch districts. We're in the middle of our doctorate." And kept driving past Compton every morning, and then spending another hour or so on the freeway. And so went to Compton, and that was an amazing experience to be in Compton for 3 years and do the things that we got to do. All of the districts that I worked in are unified school districts. So working in an elementary only school district is different for me. But really exciting work there. When I got to Compton 3 years ago, they had about a 60.2% graduation rate. When I left, we were close to 90% graduation rate. So did a lot of time working with the elementary schools, but really focused on the high schools, college career readiness pieces, working with the college and the university, the community college there, and the local university with Cal State Dominguez Hills, and had a really wonderful time working there. And then decided I wanted to be a superintendent, and Saugus, here I am.
Here you are. Our schools are stellar. That's one of
They
the
are.
great reasons that everyone moves to Santa Clarita and why we all stay here. And part of that is the parent involvement. A lot of that is the history here, and a lot of it is because we have an incredible mixture of administrators, teachers, school board members, and it all seems to come together, and partnerships. We'll get into some of the partnerships with the business community, and then obviously partnerships that you have with the Hart School District.
Correct.
Feeding into the Hart District, and then later on as kids work their way up into the community college district with COC. And I know you're brand new at this point, but just from stepping here and getting a little glimpse of that partnership, what does it look like from your perspective?
Oh, I think it's amazing. I was a little nervous coming and being a new superintendent, but the superintendents here in the Valley have really embraced me as the newest member. Jeff Pelzel and I are both starting our tenure here, but he's been here in the area for a little while, and people know him. Not knowing anybody and coming here, I've had the opportunity to meet with the superintendent in the Hart District, you mentioned, Ms. Emmerich, and all of the other superintendents, and it's great. I love the opportunity. We just finished a meeting yesterday at COC, so working with that partnership, and I love seeing that we have that. We were talking about college and career ready pieces, and so I like that I can bring my experiences with that from being in a unified school district to the Valley, but also that I get to focus on the elementary side of the house and really focus on making sure that kids have that foundation.
Your hometown station, KHTS. Carl Goldman with you here, 98.1 FM, AM 1220. We're chatting with Dr. Colleen Hawkins, who is the newest of our superintendent of the Saugus Union School District. I'm going to ask you one more question, and we'll take a short break. What do you think, from your perspective, are your toughest challenges that you face stepping over here? You don't have the same graduation
No.
challenge that you had with Compton, because I believe we've got probably the highest for high school, the highest graduation rate in probably the state, and if not the country.
Right.
And so that's not a challenge.
No.
You have incredible parent involvement.
Yes.
So that's not a challenge.
Right.
So what would you say are some of your tough ones right now?
I think for me, being new to the Valley is definitely a challenge, getting to know people. And so I've been spending a lot of my time, even as recently as last night, getting to know folks, going out into the community, meeting all of the different stakeholders, not just parents and teachers and administrators at school sites, but trying to get to know folks in the community, meeting with Chief Lewis and others, so that I can really understand the place that I'm now living, because I moved up here, so I want to know the area that I'm living in. And then I think making sure that we maintain the things that people are so proud of within the Valley. We maintain that history, we maintain that consistency and that wonderful achievement level, but also that we make sure that we provide all opportunities to our kids, that they have access to new things and different things, that we make sure that they have the 21st century learning tools that they need to have to be successful, that they are college and career ready and have technical education experiences, that they're well-rounded, that they have the social emotional learning needs. That is a huge piece that I think for about maybe the first 20 years of my career, we focused a lot on in California. And now we're seeing more of a balance. And so I like the fact that we're bringing that back. And I love the fact that we have such a commitment to the arts in the Valley, and our partnership with COC and the Kennedy Arts Center and all of that. So I'm really excited. I think it's just getting to know the community for me, and then seeing what we need to do as we move forward.
You're going to find this an easy community to get to know, too, because it's so insular. The mountains have created a geography here that really insulates us. And as I mentioned earlier, having that one of everything makes it so much easier and so much better and easier to navigate and get a handle on Santa Clarita. So I think you're going to find your transition to be pretty quick.
Good.
Dr. Colleen Hawkins is our guest here on your hometown station. We'll be back. I'm going to ask her some tough questions in a minute, so stay with us here on your hometown station.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
Coming to the Canyon Santa Clarita, the Magpie Salute, featuring Black Crowes Rich Robinson, Mark Ford, Sven Pippin, and others. A tribute to Aretha Franklin, Tesla, Fuel, Vince Neil of Motley Crue, Doc In, Striper, Faster Pussycat, Warrant, The Dan Band, The Temptations, Tito Puente Jr., Martin Sexton, The Guess Who, Ambrosia, English Beat, Berlin, Al Jardine of the Beach Boys, Justin Hayward of the Moody Blues, John Mayall, and many more. Plus, Throwback Thursdays with Fast Times, and it's the perfect place to host your parties and special events. Book your holiday party now. The Canyon Santa Clarita, where music meets the soul. Tickets available through Ticketmaster.
Santa Clarita Valley residents now have greater access to the excellent physicians and high-quality medical services for which Providence Holy Cross is known. Providence Holy Cross Health Center in Santa Clarita features state-of-the-art cancer and imaging technologies, as well as board-certified physicians in a variety of medical specialties. Quality and compassion from a healthcare provider you can depend on. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us at providence.org.
A Royal Suite.
This Labor Day weekend, it's a Royal Suite Home Furnishings 50% off sale. 50% off everything in the store. Bedrooms, dining rooms, living rooms, recliners, and Murphy beds, all at 50% off. Even their huge selection of mattresses. See their new line of adjustable beds at 50% off. Come early for the best selection. Every item from every manufacturer. 50% off at the big Labor Day sale through Monday at a Royal Suite Home Furnishings. In Center Point, across from Sam's Club, or at aroyalsuite.com.
A Royal Suite.
Sweet dreams.
KHTS.
Now FM, 98.1 FM, and AM 1220. Your hometown station.
Kicking off our Labor Day weekend, Carl Goldman here in the studio, a special half hour with the new Saugus Union School District Superintendent, Dr. Colleen Hawkins. It's a pleasure getting to know you, and I know you're going, as I said, you're going to learn about this community very, very quickly. You're going to get an earful from parents, I'm sure, and from everyone else, but that's good.
It's my job.
Exactly. You hear the good and the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but here in Santa Clarita, it's mostly good because our schools are so stellar, so tremendous. One quick question on the newest schools coming in. We were talking off air about the new one coming in Sulphur Springs that'll be up as part of the Pardee new development, Sky Ridge up there by Plum, where Plum and Whites meet. And then your next school in the Saugus district will be where?
It'll be over, my understanding is behind the Magic Mountain sort of area in the New Hall project, and that's a project that is part of three of the school districts, Castaic, New Hall, and us, and we have one elementary school that will be over there.
Very cool, so it'll be divided up that way. You mentioned earlier about, we were talking about some of your challenges and getting everyone ready here as we're deep into the 21st century, but things are moving so quickly. Our superintendent of College of the Canyons, that our chancellor Diane Van Hook, we teased her because back in the early 90s we did a special report that Santa Clarita in the year 2000. In fact, if you want to see something really cool, go on YouTube and type in Dr. Diane Van Hook, Santa Clarita the year 2000, and there's a video that we did it in the early 90s of where she thought everything would be, and particularly COC and education, right in the year 2000. And this is pre-internet. She predicted the internet before Al Gore. She had everything down except she had a second campus, but she was putting the campus over by New Hall Ranch, not over in Canyon Country. That's the only thing she got wrong. Everything else, down to the population of the student body and everything, she had it right on target. I think she was clairvoyant. But I'm going to ask you, from your standpoint, what do you think 10, 15 years from now, from the elementary school level, what will classrooms look like?
Well, I think what you're going to start to see in classrooms in what we would call a 21st century learning environment is not your standard classrooms in rows or even classrooms in small groups. You're going to start to see more project-based learning for students. You're going to start to see more group work for students, more sort of essential questions type things, because right now what we're finding, and I think all of us know this, we have maybe Dr. Van Hook predicted this, but I think Star Trek got it first with our communicators, right? So in your hand you have a communicator. You have, if you want to know anything, where to go, how I got here this morning was using my phone. Those basic facts, they are at the kids' fingertips. And so what we need to do is teach them how to think and interact and communicate and work with each other so that they can do things that we don't know about right now, that we can prepare them for careers that even the high schools and the colleges aren't certain are going to be there. But those key foundational skills about being able to read, being able to write, being able to communicate with others, being able to work with others, understanding themselves and how they will grow and develop all throughout their lives. And their lives will be very long now. So I want to make sure that our kids have all of those skills. They can read, write, communicate. They can compute and understand. They have what we would call now computational thinking, which is that basic logical, concrete, sequential thinking that we see so much for coding industries and having all of those new coding languages. That our kids are prepared with multiple languages as well. We see a lot of need for that now, whether it is the computational language of numbers or another language other than English, having those skills to communicate in a global society, because I did my dissertation on global economies and 21st century learning, went to Ireland to study globalization of economies, and our kids really need that. That's a piece that we need to start focusing on, is having that access in multiple languages.
We'll have to get you back because I want to dig deeper into that and a number of other things. We didn't touch upon a lot of stuff. I've got about 60 seconds. I want to throw one last question on everyone's mind, and that's school safety.
School safety. School safety is paramount for us. In today's world, we have to be ever vigilant. However, it's important that we remember that our schools are safe, that our kids can walk in our neighborhoods, that Santa Clarita in particular is a very safe community, and that we not create an environment that is a scary place for our kids because we're concerned about some of the things that we hear in the media and that we see out there. So my job is to have a balance of that for our families so that they feel safe and secure, but also so that they don't feel like they're going into a locked down situation every single day.
And in this day and age, that's so important. School funding, I know, is always an issue, and maybe we'll do another show and talk about that and some of the pressures on funding coming from Sacramento. Never ending. And there's so much more to talk about, but it'll be great. We'll bring you back in a few months after you've had a chance to really
I'd love to come
get
back.
to know Santa Clarita. Then I can ask you some real quiz questions.
You can ask me real quiz questions. I'll study the history.
There we go. Okay, Dr. Colleen Hawkins, a pleasure meeting you. Welcome to Santa Clarita, and I know we'll be seeing plenty of you around town. Carl Goldman with you. This is your hometown station. Happy Labor Day, AM 1220, KHTS 98.1 FM.
Your hometown